First, I said, I wonder if you got the homie back up here. What's the
No, because, all right, Richard Spencer, the one from back in the day.
the one you've been telling me?
Not a real racist. This other dude that you're talking about, Garrett, that we did the episode
cool.
with, used to be a Nazi or whatever when he was locked up, but not anymore. We had like an actual dude who really is racist. He describes himself as a conservative and a racist. And then we got Brandon, who you have some smoke with.
No, I don't know the nigga. I don't know.
And they did a debate episode.
See,
and,
this is
and according to the comments, Brandon took the W. Brandon overwhelmed him. Knocked the racism out of him. Presumably.
I was gonna say that probably would have been a good thing for him. Right? The days of me letting people, and you know, I'll be talking to you about it too.
It's a nice hat.
Rap Snacks.
Very classy.
Yeah, I just left there.
You look like a sales rep.
Big business going on for us too. Damn, I forgot this
They
product.
gonna put me on the bag?
Bro, listen.
No.
I talked to the owner.
Uh-huh.
I got two things working.
Mm-hmm.
I was in there. The chemist was there, and
The Rap Snacks chemist.
listen,
Holy shit, I never even thought about that.
I'm in Boca,
Uh-huh.
right? And they was presenting a pill, a sex pill, right?
Ooh.
I said, yo, does that come in liquid? They said, yeah, right? And so the people that had tried it said, this shit is amazing. It's all natural. They said it's a better for you product. I said, what is that? They like, it's all natural, no crazy shit in it, right? And it's immediate, right? I said, so listen, how about we don't announce this, right? And you know me, I went to my salesman mode. I said, we label it no jumper. The shit that makes you jump. If you're a no jumper, this will make you jump. And he said, Wack, go talk to your partner. We'll follow your lead. So
Me and you on the bag together.
no, the bag of chips is one thing,
Okay.
but we're about to have
A cake.
our own, like, Rhino.
Oh.
And dude got 40,000 doors.
40,000 pill spots.
No,
That's how
he
I
got
think of it.
40,000 locations to put it in.
Wow.
So he gave me the green light. He said, go talk. I was supposed to bring, I forgot him. And,
Oh, shit.
but yeah, you know me, listen, R&B said that too. She said, you know what? I'm going to tell Adam. We go everywhere you at, somehow, you slide Adam, you slide no jumper,
There you go.
slide pug talk into the conversation.
Speaking of R&B, where's my present? I was
got-
told that there was a present.
Yeah, I brought you a present. And she brought you a present.
I need to know because I'm about to go to New York, and if you guys are buying me gifts, then I got to buy you gifts.
She definitely, I said, I'm going to let you bring the present. She said, well, you can't take your present. We got to give it to. So she got something she do. Her, our boy just graduated 5th grade. Shout out Noel. Noel
son?
Jones. Yeah, he graduated 5th grade to go on junior high school.
Congrats,
And
Noel.
then, you know, we was gone like 9 days, so she back getting the shit together. But next week she gonna be here. She definitely got you a present.
Would you be okay with me hanging like a sexy R&B poster on my wall
I wouldn't care.
in my office?
I only let her get you this present because I consider you a brother. I would not have let her get nobody else this
Would she
present.
have been allowed to buy Big U a present?
No, hell no.
See?
No,
I exist in a different space.
No, yeah, that was
That's
a different
hard.
thing.
Okay.
But
wait, okay, so before
I
that-
text you.
Yeah, wait.
I was hating on you. Remember I text you.
About what?
I said, yo, this punk ass motherfucker buying you gifts and shit. Like, how are we somewhere looking at something? She was like,
Oh,
this would be great
perfect
for Adam and Lynn.
That's crazy. I like it though.
Yeah, I had to hate on you a little
But you
bit.
know, I'm kind of overwhelmed by gifts right now because it's been Mother's Day, my anniversary, and then her birthday, like back to back in the course of like a month.
She set you up with that.
That's too much. That's like I can't even get excited to be buying you gifts when I got to hit it 3 times in a month. But I feel like we kind of like agreed to not really f- with the anniversary that much. I got to do Mother's Day.
And I'm gonna
birthday.
tell you this: them motherfuckers got a big back honey buns. Listen to me, bro.
Wait.
No, I swear to God. Listen,
Big back honey bun.
Rap Snacks. I just tried the lemon. They got like 5 flavors, like peach, cobbler, strawberry. Me and R&B got into a fight behind them, bro.
Wait, what?
Because we left, the day we was leaving, we went and took the meeting, and dude gave us like 4 or 5 of them, so I packed them. It's one of those things that after you didn't ate it and time went by, you'll start thinking about it. This shit's all organic. Big back honey buns. They're on Amazon right now. Them shits is like crack. I told him to send us a box of them here. He gonna send us a bunch of shit because we about to do some business with him. But them shits is crazy, bro. You remember when you was little and you was at the baseball game and you first taste Tiki Punch?
Tiki Punch.
You ever never tasted Tiki Punch?
Not specifically. Might have called it something different in New Hampshire.
Now, you know, we was all used to drinking orange and Coke and all the 7-Up. But the Tiki Punch shit was just like a different wave. These big back honey buns is different, bro. That shit is addictive.
It's funny because, like, okay, the big back honey buns, we should put a picture of like a really fat woman on it.
No, the reason why he says that is because, you know, they real slim. These motherfuckers are like cake. Like, it's like doubles.
Now, a lot of times when I go to like a fancy hipster bakery, they'll have like their own organic Pop-Tart that they make. So they take the format of making like, you know, a somewhat flat pastry filled with like jam or filling or whatever, and then some frosting on the outside. I think he got some of those too, but these shits
they
kind of push it in their direction.
Yeah, these shits here is crazy, bro.
Okay.
They're crazy, man. But, man, listen, man. And then when I was over there, I get a call from was it the Danza dude? Danza. That's
Danza.
The Danza project.
Because you were in Colombia?
I was in Cali, Colombia.
That's why we didn't get last week's episode. You were in Colombia.
I was in Cali, Colombia.
What is Cali, Colombia?
You ever watch Narcos?
No.
Well, shit, that's motherfucking real deal, one of those cities. Okay. And I didn't want to just stay in downtown. So I got a driver.
You're moving around?
Yeah, we was moving around.
Doing what?
Everywhere. I went to the mountains. I went to the ghetto. The ghetto, we don't have ghettos.
Not like that.
Their ghettos, the police don't go there. Their water and electricity is free because the maintenance people don't want to go over there. So they just let them fix their own shit.
Wow.
It's crazy. They got 10 roofs. I didn't see a lot of windows. But the culture is real, bro. It was a beautiful country, a big country. And I just, anything I could do, I did. They wanted us to stay around the hotel area, mall area. That I
went chew any coca leaves?
No, hell no. I wouldn't do that anyway.
Why not? Man, it's a super chill stimulant. It's nothing like doing a line of coke.
Yeah, but that's what.
But it is what they make it out of. But they take the leaves and then they shove the leaves in their cheek, and then they just sort of suck the juices out. But it's like not even close to the level of actual cocaine, which you don't really know what that's like. No, but it's obviously it's intense. There's a reason why everybody's freaking out, losing their minds over it.
I'm going to ask the dude if he could take me where they're really like, kind of like creating that shit at. I'll go look at that.
Yeah, that might be a little bit more of a challenge.
They turn it into a paste or something, right?
They mix it with like gasoline and shit.
Oh, no.
And then they like take all that stuff out of it. I think that's why when you look at this dude coming in straight teal. Looking like you're doing a shift at the hospital. I'm f***ing with it. On the fangus. Yeah, no, but okay, so you're in Colombia. And then, and what, you just went there just to spend some time with R&B, or was this like a little present?
No, because I went there, R&B had her braces, right? So I got her braces off. So when I got her braces off, I took her over there so she can get all her veneers done.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, and they did it.
That's what you're supposed to do? You're supposed to wear braces so that you can get veneers? I thought you would just do veneers.
But this is the problem. You know, them people look like they got chiclet teeth.
Yeah.
That's why they look like that.
I feel like the bigger problem is the huge teeth. Oh, that's the chiclet thing?
Because
chiclets are small.
What they're doing is, if you got an overbite, you got some shit going on, your shit slanted, they just popping them things over them and they too big. When you see R&B, she put up a few pictures on her Instagram. It looks normal, natural as hell. They did a hell of a job over there.
So no more braces. She's like the perfect woman now.
Everything.
Top tier.
Put the work in. I perfected her perfect.
Oh, so you're still working on that? That's like your little project, huh?
No, like, bro, like.
It's like some people get like a nice car and they work on it. And you're like, no, I'm going to build me a baddie.
Listen, so you telling me it's nothing
you got a BBL?
About Lena?
She's lying about it?
Lena, there's nothing about, listen, you see that? Look, check it out.
Oh, when I saw her post that the other day, I was wondering why the hell she posted that picture. That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, so.
I'm like, why is she just posting a picture of her mouth?
And it's crazy because when you do that type of stuff to your mouth, like if you got a slight overbite, it shifts everything back. It changes your whole everything.
Really? Everything looks different?
Everything looks different. It's crazy.
You know about mewing?
What is it?
Mewing is this thing that dudes do where they basically like they flex. I don't know exactly how they do it, but they like flex their jaw and they build up the muscles like right here. It's supposed to make like your jawline more pronounced so that women will find you more attractive.
Oh, that's crazy.
I saw a guy at the fucking store the other day, and it was blatantly a dude who had done this a shitload. And we had a guy on Plug Talk at one time who I just looked at him and I immediately knew that he was doing it. But it's this fucking crazy new technology.
Yeah, that's crazy. So what are they doing? They like breaking his jaw and replacing it?
Okay, mewing is a technique where the tongue is pressed against the roof of the mouth, purportedly to reshape the jawline and improve facial structure. While it's gained popularity online, there's limited scientific evidence to support its effectiveness. It definitely does something from my perspective.
What do you mean the tongue is placed against the top of the mouth?
I think you like picture like doing like a resistance exercise, like you're picking up a weight over and over. You press your tongue into the top of your mouth. And like, I don't know, I'm like trying to figure out how I do it to like get like some kind of muscle growth in here.
I just want my woman to like me the way I am. If she tell me I got to do some mewing, she ain't for me.
So she has to be upgraded in every way. Every aspect of her body has to be perfected. And then you are allowed to continue to look like a poly
I
world.
don't say it upgraded.
Okay.
I just perfected her perfect. It's like this. If you looking at someone, right, of course it's attractive to you because you know, you advance towards it. But if you're looking at something you can see, right? You got a vision that like, okay, you know what? This and this and this. They don't know because all their life they've been looking at themselves.
Right.
They've already been getting the attention they've been getting.
But the thing is that my wife is surrounded by all these other porn star chicks who get way more surgery than her. They're way quicker to go get surgery because they're constantly trying to perfect themselves. And she's trying to be someone who stays, you know, largely natural. Now she has BBL, she's got her tits done, but she only got one BBL. Any of these porn girls probably would have done it again.
Yeah,
she is on her third boob job, but they kept getting fucked up.
I've never had a woman that had a BBL.
I honestly kind of think that your girl has a secret BBL.
Swear to God, bro.
Yeah, I'm going to have to see it.
There's no BBL.
I'm going to look for the scars.
It ain't no BBL.
I know where the scars go.
There's no BBL, I'm telling you.
I'm just telling you, her ass is way too nice.
It's no BBL. She from Mississippi.
It's beautiful. That doesn't mean anything. It's a work of art. It's a beautiful ass.
That's not.
I haven't seen it like bare, but it looks. Maybe she's got some amazing pants, but no, it just looks. You feel me,
bro? That just doesn't that's really. What it is.
He's nodding.
I thought this. Listen, I literally.
Yeah.
And I thought the same thing. Right. I expected her ass to a point where she like, motherfucker, I don't have no BBL. Her mom was like, that's her ass. That's her whole family. Like, she's always been like that.
Really? But the thing that's crazy about it, if she was 25, I wouldn't be that wowed. Being 45, it's like, no, that's not what happens. It doesn't continue to sit up that high.
What you mean?
It's just, it looks too perky. It looks too round to be at her age. I just don't understand. Even honestly, if it was fake, it would still be kind of astounding.
No, it's not though. I'm telling you, if it was, I've never experienced, I've never even touched a woman's ass that was a BBL.
You gotta. What's your body count?
Who, me?
Yeah. Because you were married to the same woman forever, and then you've been with R&B for many years, and then obviously there's the one girl that you piped down who took the photo of you. And I was thinking about it last night when I was hearing you talk about that. That's 3. I don't know. Is there 10 more? Is there 100 more?
Not 100. Probably about. Man, I gotta think. Because you know, when I was young, I was hitting a lot of grown women.
Got it.
You know, I was driving Cadillacs and shit. 13, 14 years old. You know what I'm saying?
But I thought you'd been with your ex-wife from that age. Or
14 years old.
14. Okay, yeah, but you were still running around the streets a little bit.
I was hitting a lot of grown women and shit.
Okay.
But I don't know. I will tell you this. I'm not like no motherfucker 50 or no crazy shit. Like
no 50.
Nah, I ain't. You know, I ain't up there like that because
I gotta be close to a G.
I don't trust women like that.
Right.
Like I gotta be able to go to sleep on the side of you. And it's only been 1, 2, 3. It's only been maybe 3, 4 women like that in my life.
For sure.
And the majority of them was in my younger days. You know what I'm saying? So, but other than that, you know, because I came up, women was what they used to line people up. So I don't know about the dating world.
Right.
Everything with me was always long term.
Everybody that I interview and hang out with, now I haven't been single for 10 years, but everybody I hang out with scares the shit out of me because they're all talking about setup chicks, backdoor chicks, etc. When I was running around in the streets, I was wild as hell, totally ridiculous, but no girl ever tried to do anything bad to me. Like I never had anyone steal from me. Didn't really, like, aside from lying about you a little bit and stuff, never really had to deal with that. Like, I feel like I never had to deal with all the shit that I routinely warn rappers about. Like, oh, the girls are going to do this. I got a little taste of it because me and Lynn would be bringing random girls home. One time I saw one of them folding up my Gucci shirt and putting it in her purse. I'm like, oh, okay, they'll steal from you. I didn't realize.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Now, you know, hit and miss, keep it moving. I had those, but come to the crib, I'm really going to sleep on the side of you and trusting you like that. Nah, can't do that.
No, that's not good. I've been in a interesting situation for the last week because my girl's out of town, so I am 100% in the dad mode.
Oh yeah,
so I've been doing all of it. Every day I wake up and she's in the bed next to me. Dad,
we should go to another concert or something.
Concert? Working on some content. Let's put it that way.
Okay, gotcha.
We got some heaters coming your way.
What you mean? I don't watch none of y'all content.
Yeah.
I don't watch none of her.
You'll probably hear about these.
I'm gonna hear about them, but I won't watch it.
Okay, that's good. Okay, wait. So this is the number one first thing I want to talk about. Last night, thinking I'm gonna have a chill night, gonna be able to watch some Netflix. I see it on the gram. No. Wack 100 and Charleston White just dropped. We got to tap in. I even paid because I saw, I look at the Danza Project YouTube channel and I see that there's a 1 hour version that I can watch for free. And there's a 2 hour version that I have to be a member for. Shout out to all the members paying $5 a month to watch No Jumper content. I figure I want to see the premium version. I don't want to watch the bum ass free version. So Danza Project, 2 clicks, boom, I'm a member. I'm watching the 2 hour version. When it gets to about the 1 hour mark, Charleston White leaves. So,
bro,
do I feel kind of scammed? Yeah.
Here's the thing,
yeah,
right?
A little bit. How did that come together?
Here's the thing. I think on the West Coast, you know what? I'm not going to even say West Coast because I've been to other people's podcasts. Some people just don't have their priorities right.
And
right?
Who is that? Charleston?
No.
Oh.
Charleston was on point. Interview was supposed to be at 3 o'clock. I get there about 2:45. Charleston pull up at 3.
Got it.
So we go into the little podcast area. We sitting there at 10:50. I'm like, what's up? I'm waiting on my co-host. I'm like, co-host? Shit. I didn't know you had a co-host. He be here in 5-10 minutes. 5-10 minutes come, the AC stopped working.
Oh, wow.
So I said, let me go outside. After about an hour, we in the front yard. Shit, me and Charleston started chopping it up.
Okay.
We talking about merch and what happened with AB and this, that, and other little shit.
And so, how much tension was there going into this?
No, that's what I'm saying. They killed the whole
Got it. Yeah.
So by the time we go sit down and we had to tell bro, hey, bro, let's just start. He still wasn't there. I said, look, bro, I don't even know who the hell your co-host is. Mm-hmm. But Charleston telling them I got to leave at 5 because I got to be somewhere at 5:30. So we lost a whole hour waiting on a non-factor that factored out the factors.
The co-host.
Whoever it is, I still don't know the dude's name.
From my watching this, I feel like he asked one question.
This is what I'm saying. So I'm telling Danza, I said, look, bro, I know you trying to be cool and all that. This don't work like that. You got something in front of you that has never happened, right? Why are we waiting on somebody who's not taking it that serious?
And it's just his being there doesn't matter at all.
It doesn't matter.
It didn't add anything to it. Yeah,
all you got to do is for every one thing you put on the table, me and Charles are going to battle it out at least 10, 15 minutes.
Right.
So by the time we sat down, the AC ain't working. I thug it out for him. I said, you know what? When I'm telling you, bro, the phone started overheating.
The phone that he was filming on? Or your
cell
phone?
Phones. You know how it come over and get hot?
Yeah.
All on phone. And I'm like, so we thug. If you look at it, you'll see us drenching.
Really?
We thugging it. We just thugging it out. So between that and that, it was like by the time we got in there and got to it.
Okay. That explanation really makes sense of it because
You know me.
Yeah. And well, I'm going to be real with
And
you.
I started gaslighting shit just to get it going.
Right. From my perspective, if I'm doing a podcast with Charleston White, I'm thinking of it as a battle. Like I'm going into this knowing that he is the king of talking loudly, talking over people, repeating the same thing over and over, saying the most inflammatory shit possible. Yeah. It really wasn't that.
It was a whole lot of things that I wanted to question him about that I heard him say that was some BS. Like I knew it was some shit he wanted to question me about. But by the time we got in there, we had already, whatever it was, it slipped off.
That's why, like, okay, even when Orlando Brown does the podcast with 4Extra, I tell the team, hey, the second Orlando walks in here, vlog camera on him, because I don't want to miss out on any of the potentially really, really exciting content.
R&B had on all white. It was so hot in there, you'd have thought she was naked.
For real? She was sweating her ass off?
Yeah, she went outside and got in the car. Like, baby, let's go get in the car, turn on the air.
Miami's good for that.
But no, it's just, there wasn't no the AC went out. Right? So between waiting an hour and the AC going out, I still was a good sport and stayed in there. Charleston had another appointment.
Right.
So he gave us what he could give us and he left. And by right, I could have got jumped up like, bro, it's too hot, I'm out. But I stayed a whole nother hour and just gave him a one-on-one.
Now, how did this even come about that you were going to do this? Because you weren't in Miami, you're in Colombia.
I was in Colombia, so he had did the I'll be forgetting her name. Rock, the Krishan Rock.
Right.
So I watched it. So I went to DM him and I said, boy, you was being awfully nice. What kind of podcast you running where you ain't asking the questions that people want to, know about? So we text back and it was cool. He was in the DMs. I never talked to him. Next thing I know, I wake up the next morning and he went on some Clout shit. He goes live. Yeah, I got a DM from a certain individual about why I didn't ask these questions. So I hit him up. I said, oh, man, you clout chasing. I said, we was just having a conversation. I didn't say nothing disrespectful. And he like, yo, man, would you be down to interview with Charleston White? I said, well, me and Charleston was supposed to interview a month ago. Me, Academic 6ix9ine in Charleston.
You were going to do that in Miami.
We was gonna do that and at 6ix9ine house. 6ix9ine went dark 2 days before we was gonna go there. Act telling me, Wack, just fly in. No, sirree, buddy.
You didn't think it was worth it unless 6ix9ine was there?
No,
I feel like it's still pretty epic. No, Charleston.
Listen, I don't play them type of games with no artists.
Honestly, that podcast, the Danza Project episode, that needed Ack in the room. It needed somebody who was going to actually ask the shit that the people wanted to hear. If you go dark on
me before I'm supposed to come, I'm not coming.
But just 6ix9ine. Charleston's already a big enough fish.
It was supposed to have been at 6ix9ine's crib in the back.
Well, that would have been pretty epic.
So
6ix9ine and Charleston.
I'm not finna fly in and play the call you game.
Yeah.
I ain't doing that. Fuck off.
I hate when you're supposed to go out of town and people are acting wishy-washy.
Now, if it's a building and I just know, hey, yo, this is the building, pull up, cool. So that didn't happen. So when he called me, I said, you know what? I thought about it. I just changed my flights from there back here, and we just went down. I set up a few meetings I needed to have anyway. The Rap Slacks meeting was out there.
But I hear that Danza is paying people for podcasts. He didn't pay you for this one. Do you think Charleston got paid? Because Charleston always talks about how he's not doing a podcast unless he has 10 grand.
I don't know
or more.
I don't know what he got paid. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I didn't ask him.
Whatever he got paid, they didn't really get their money's worth because he didn't really do a whole lot. Like at one point,
but you can't blame him for that.
This is true. But
that
he
man
at one
was there
point,
at 3 o'clock.
Okay, let me just say this: you're pressing him about him taking the stand, him snitching when he was a kid, whatever, this murder that he was involved in, and he's explaining himself, but he's explaining himself. He's not saying. The normal Charleston White that I'm used to explains himself and then also says, but you's a bitch ass because of this. And then he starts getting on your ass and all of a sudden he's screaming on you about some shit. He didn't have any of that energy for you. You're calling him out about some shit when he was 15 and Charleston White isn't responding by going at you. He's just kind of explaining his shit or whatever. And then he seemingly had so much respect for you that he's just like, I'm going to ask you this. How'd you even get into this business? Oh my
he
God!
probably
Then
was
you
curious.
go on a
But
20-minute tirade explaining everything. It's a story I already heard. No offense.
I'm gonna say
Skip
this.
through it.
I believe we show respect for one another in that interview.
Right, but you got to give the people what they want. Like, okay, if Hulk Hogan and The Undertaker get into the ring together and show each other respect, guess what? There's no show.
Okay, watch this.
There's nothing to watch.
If Hulk Hogan and The Undertaker show up at 3 o'clock and they say sit in the corner, and you sitting in the corner and by 3:20, y'all there in the middle of the ring, they're like, yo, so how much can you bench press? Yo, what kind of diet you on till 4:15? By the time they say, okay, let's fight, you really ain't got that type of fight in you.
No, that's real. That's real. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but guess what? It just left it up for a part 2 to do it again somewhere.
Was Charleston White smoking weed?
Previously.
It kind of seemed like he was like a little high.
He had a blunt. I think he had a blunt or 2 previously.
He's a little too comfortable.
He had a blunt, but like I said, by the time we out there waiting an hour, we start chopping it up.
Right.
You know, it should have been we pull up. What's up? I was already there when he got there. So he came in, sit down, he mic'd up. We like, let's go. Oh, we waiting on a thing, so we waited for like, we'll do that. And then his AC went out. I'm like, so all right, we went outside. After about an hour, we had to tell him, bro, we need to start the shit. I don't know what you think this is, bro, but you killing the whole everything.
Right.
So by the time we got in there, I think we was both trying to chase certain things we just wanted to ask each other.
He didn't really seem like he had anything he wanted to ask you besides like the most basic questions, like how'd you get started in the music business? Like, I mean, how many times you talked about that?
You know
like,
the thing that kills me the most is when people say this, and people stop saying shit, and then when I ask you to present it to me, you don't got nothing to say. If you're saying something, at least be able to answer your own question. We don't know how you get so much information. Okay, well, what information do I have that rattled you to a point to where Wack gotta be working for somebody to have it? The Nipsey Hussle video.
Oh my God. Danza telling you that he didn't believe that you had the Nipsey video?
I say, bro, come on. I tell everybody where it came from. I don't have it. The guy that's in the damn video has it. Give me... People say, you the police. Okay, can you give me something to make you like it's to a point to where they just want to say something. Look, say something that got some substance or that'll stick.
You can't sit down with a Wack or a Charleston White and think that you're going to be on like very minimal information and expect that you're going to be able to make a dent. Because when he says, like I would never say to you, oh, I don't believe you have that Nipsey Hussle video, because I pay enough attention that I've heard Vlad sit there, and I've never asked to see what Vlad has. Vlad, it made it clear that he would show me whatever if I wanted to see it. I don't even want to see it. I already trust him.
Vlad didn't told people don't bet him.
And it's like, I don't, you know, like you're just not going to be able to win. And people do this to me too. People get into a podcast with me, and then they say like, "Oh, why'd you fire AD?" I'm like, "Well, I didn't fire AD." So already, right from the get go, you fucked up, because this is not how this happens.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's just like people come in with no knowledge. Realize I have all the knowledge. I know everything about myself and my business. You're not gonna do battle with me coming in with like some shit that you've barely even paid attention to. Yeah, so that's not gonna work.
That's not gonna work. You come in with something to where all your facts are wrong out the gate. Yeah, it's over with.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's over with. This bozo, Hocus Pocus 4/5.
Yeah, it's just like a New York dude.
Dude stole his name from a graffiti artist, right?
Okay.
He don't even get put on for his name. Graffiti artist writing Hocus. His friends say, "Hey, bro, we saw you writing Hocus." He's like, "I didn't write Hocus." "Yeah, we saw you write Hocus." "No, I didn't write Hocus." "Okay, I'm just gonna call myself Hocus." So then the graffiti artist tell the dude, "Man, why you stealing my name?" Okay. So dude say, "Well, I'm more gangster than you." Man, listen, this is a graffiti name. This ain't no gangster name. It's like BMX. I'm pretty sure dudes had names, right? It's like me stealing the BMX dude's name saying, "I'm more gangster than you." That's cool. I got this name for riding bikes. Yeah. Right? Dude gets picked up for a RICO out of Savannah, Georgia from 2020. PPP, fraud. I guess he filed unemployment or whatever and collected. Sex, money, murder, RICO.
Got it.
I don't know nothing about these dudes. I've never been to Savannah. I've never seen this dude. We done got into it a few times on Clubhouse. We didn't pack him up, but that's just it. Next thing he know, he's like, yeah. And why is it that this one guy that we all get into it with on the internet, And you know who I'm talking about. Everybody goes to jail for a RICO. So I don't pay it no attention because he didn't say my name. But then a few of his people that's call me like, yo, you know Hoke is saying. So I text him. I'm like, yo, bro, what you? He didn't. So I go in his clubhouse room. I say, you like, yeah, Wack, I was insinuating it was you. I said, well, what the hell I got to do with your RICO? Like, I don't know nothing about no PPP in 2020, right? So I asked him, can you just clear it up? If not, you're going to force me to have to clear my name. And then at that point in time, the spies kick in. We pull up all your documents and read your shit A to Z.
Right.
Since then, they got like 12 hours of content lined up. They only did 3.5 hours. We done found and discovered all kind of stuff. And I'm telling him, bro, just go ahead on and clean it up. Maybe he was a little emotional. But again, another guy, and when people asking him, what makes you think that? He says, well, everybody he's got into it with, I done got into it with a bunch of people on the internet.
Right.
Who are you insinuating?
It's almost your job.
Yeah, who are you insinuating called a RICO for me getting into it with him? And then the other thing, they swear to God, Adam, that we knew what dude was going to come up here and say about his robbery, right, with the other dude,
right,
and we put him up to it. Because you know me, if you say something, I'm going to say, hold on, let's make sure we hearing you right. You're saying boom, boom, boom. They said, well, Wack, you made them say it again. Once you say it once on the no jumper camera, it's already heard. And then another thing is, it could be a damn blog up for 2 weeks. Everybody talked about it, nothing. The minute I give my personal opinion about it, it's a problem. The Cassie, whatever it is, Nipsey baby mama thing.
Right.
It's a big deal now.
Right.
Why? The courts or the people in the courts or the blogs insinuated that there's possibly some footage gonna come out
of Nipsey
implementing Laura London and Cassie and Diddy. Now, we know they're best friends. Nipsey said himself, Laura London introduced him to Diddy. Right? So if they're saying Puff got 200-300 cameras in the house and everything they're talking about, nothing they're talking about with Puff is a dice game or a card game or a handshake. Everything they're talking about on cameras related to what?
Dirty fucking.
Okay, so I'm saying, well, shit. I know my situation. You know your situation. If these two people are best friends and him and his girl are both swingers or whatever you want to call them, orgy kings, what they call this shit, freak offs or whatever, right?
Right.
There's a strong chance that on one of them islands, on one of them jets, if they're saying something's gonna come out, everything that's coming out has something to do with some sexual activity. So I'm like saying, well, if we did see it, it wouldn't be no shock because they best friends. The world goes crazy. I didn't say, hey, what if we find out? They said, Wack, they're saying that there's possibly some content gonna come out in the trial regarding these two.
Right.
When I said, well, they were best friends, everybody like, oh, Wack, you woke that up. I didn't wake this up. This is a reality. Like,
I can't imagine anything weirder. I don't even know what adjectives to use to describe it, but like the idea of Nipsey's widow having her most intimate of details exposed in the context of the Diddy trial. Oh, wow. Like,
but here's the thing, though.
You couldn't have told me that script was coming 5 years ago.
But here's the thing, right?
What the
Can you imagine Diddy being who he is? Anybody in the industry that has a close-knit relationship to the people he's doing these things with, it would be a shocking surprise to you that they got content with him?
I guess no. No, I guess it wouldn't be that surprising.
Think about in your situation, bro, right? On some real shit. It's probably a slew of girls that people think are top-notch this that you would say, oh, me and Leonard already hit that.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And some would be like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, what you mean? Right? That's
The difference is
lifestyle.
like all the girls that we're fucking with are porn stars. Everybody knows they're hoes. The difference with Lauren London is she had this whole period of her life before we became familiar with her. What was she doing behind closed doors at certain parties? I don't fucking know. Same thing with Nip. What was his sexual activities? We don't know. Who knows?
Can we both admit that rock stars probably when it comes to their chicks be pretty wild? Pretty wild?
Yes.
Okay.
Generally speaking.
Can we admit that an upper echelon rap star is probably gonna be pretty with it with his woman?
More often than not, yeah.
So what do you get when you mix an upper echelon rap star with a rock star?
You're talking about who? Diddy?
Who's her baby daddy?
Oh, Lauren Lennon? Who was it? And
Lil Wayne.
Right. Okay, so he's a rock star, sure. Okay.
Lil Wayne, we consider Lil Wayne a rock star.
Yeah.
Rappers.
Yeah,
this is
like,
real shit.
Kind of like hip hop's first rock star, even though to me,
what I'm saying is,
rock star.
What I'm saying is,
I guess,
she wasn't over here with Shamar Moore. You know what I'm saying?
Who's that?
She was fucking with Wheezy.
Okay.
Wheezy F, baby. She was fucking with a nigga from the boot. Right? Okay? She wasn't fucking with, some old. You get what I'm saying?
Most good girls had a time in their life in which they were living
it's
it up.
Cool.
It's cool. They're supposed to.
And that's what's crazy. I'm saying, I don't know what all evidence they have. When they put it out, people say, Wack, what do you think about this? What's that? They're saying there's going to be some footage to possibly come out that has something to do with Lauren London. Then they put a spin on it. And Diddy may have something to do with Nipsey. That's cap. That's some bullshit. Diddy ain't got nothing to do with that. I said, but Laura and Cassie were best friends. So it's possible. I don't know what it is. They could be giving each other a massage. I don't know.
The videos that you've seen of Nipsey, though, would you describe them as Diddy party activities?
Yeah, that's a fact.
Oh, dear Lord. I hope for his family that stuff never comes out. Because let the man rest, The world doesn't need to see that.
Okay, well, let me ask you a question. Because this is another thing, right? People get, I trip off of people, right?
Okay, trip on this.
People call a person a real motherfucker, right? Real people do what they want to do. And that's just what they doing, right? So if somebody wants to identify somebody as a real person, and that's their real life, what's the problem?
If they want to identify as a real person.
You say that dude's a real nigga.
Right.
Okay? And in this dude's life, this is what he really does. What's the problem?
Well, okay. If it was just a regular person, sure. But we're talking about a gang member, it's a little different.
Okay, I'm glad you said that.
We all know this.
I don't understand when y'all say we talking about a gang member. I'm going to tell you why. I've been to prison. I watch gang members married going on family visits every 2-3 weeks with their wife, but have a homosexual in the cell and calling shots what they click on the yard. So when you tell me we talking about gang members, right? I've known what I've seen gang members do. So are you saying because a person's a gang member, there's certain things that they won't do?
Okay, if there was a rapper and the whole world found out that behind bars he had some punks on deck, that rapper's career is over.
One just came out. I posted about it.
Who?
What's his name?
Bossman Dlow.
Bossman Dlow.
He was seemingly interested in having sex with a trans woman.
Listen, I posted about it. I said, listen, all y'all was Bossman Dlow fans when he dropped his music. I don't know if I'm telling the truth or not, but there's a possibility that this activity was already going on at the time Bossman Dlow dropped his music. And when y'all was bouncing y'all head to Bossman Dlow music, this was already who he was. Now, somebody has exposed him and outed him. That doesn't say Bossman Dlow has changed, because that's probably who he was privately when you became a fan.
Okay, but people are astonished at the idea that a rapper who they thought was one type of dude might actually be
what
another type of dude.
I never
Heterosexual, I guess.
I've never heard him.
And I'm not casting any kind of judgment on him. I fuck with him, met him, great guy, love his music.
What
People
about
are
his
understandably
music says,
shocked.
Did he ever in his music address anti-community?
No, I don't think so.
He never addressed anti-community.
But I mean, why is this so hard to understand? If I found out that you were fucking dudes, yes, I would be astonished. Yes, everybody out there who is a fan of you as a podcaster would be astonished.
Who are you talking about?
They would freak the fuck out. You,
No,
in this example, you.
This is why is one rapper that I respect so much.
You're gonna name some gay dude?
Because no, I don't believe he's gay. I don't think this man is gay. He's a friend of mine. But no matter what controversial thing they put in front of him that he did or has done, he stands on it. They said, yo, we heard you had sex with your cousin. Yep.
Okay.
We was already together, had a family reunion or a family gathering. I seen her, she seen me. We realized we cousins. Did you have sex with her again? You goddamn right. Why would I stop now? Shout out Kevin Gates. Yo, we heard you taste your woman's pee. Yeah, I drunk it. You know what I'm saying? And this. So whatever you come at him with, he let you know that's his truth.
A trans girl that I know came out and did a whole interview talking about fucking Kevin Gates.
What are you talking about?
He didn't say nothing.
I don't know. You know, if you ask him, he gonna tell you. I don't know. I've never heard about that.
I think I think it was because Sharp did an interview with him. I think it was made clear to Sharp, don't ask about that.
Well, then
it never came out.
Then that mean it didn't happen? Because Gates gonna own it. He don't give. Man, Gates don't give. Listen, man.
I love Kevin Gates too.
Gates don't care what you think about him.
Right.
If you would him, you would him. If you ain't, you ain't.
Okay, but if a person really didn't care what anyone thinks about him, they would just talk openly about it. It's different with Kevin Gates. He gets accused of some shit, and then he just like never talks about it, which I respect.
What?
Okay, with the trans thing that I'm talking about.
Because it probably wasn't. If somebody put some BS out on him, he ain't gonna give it no life.
Okay, but if it was completely not true, don't you think he would disavow it? It's pretty easy to disavow it. If some dude said I f***ed him, I would just say no, it's not true.
Everybody has had some BS put on them that we like, bro. I'm not giving that no light because at that point I'm letting the people that put it out there win.
Okay, but
if you got to, if there was that going on, like dude, whoever this individual is. Did Bossman Dlow showed all the text messages or whatever?
Yeah.
We would have seen something, bro.
Seen what?
Whatever they had to prove it.
They never met up.
So what? They had some text messages?
It's intent.
Huh? I get the fuck out of here.
They showed intent. Now,
what you mean show intent?
Are those text messages...
What, because he was cordial?
Are those text messages fake?
For what?
Potentially.
Bossman Dlow?
But Bossman Dlow didn't come out and say,
he never said,
yo, y'all falling for a bunch of fake text. He said, I'm a real street dude and real street shit could happen behind me.
That's no different.
That's not I would never do that.
That's no different than Young Buck sending that transgender that he knew was a transgender a text message saying, I'm a real street nigga. Do you know what could happen to you if my homeboys find out you doing this?
Exactly, yeah.
Right? But we know that's what he was doing, right?
Can't we just accept that some significant percentage of heterosexual men want to fuck a trans person at some point in their life?
No, what we're going to accept
it's
is
not gay to just once in a blue moon take a walk on the wild
what you're not going to do is change the narrative. That's gay.
He says
that's gay.
Damn.
That's gay. I'm telling him, miss me with that because you are from a gang. Because in prison, we watch people from gang that's married go to family visits and got a gay dude in the cell and calling shots and they click on the yard. This is what I've seen gang members do, right? Everybody in life does something that another group of people doesn't agree with. I don't give a damn if it's how you wash your hair, how you clean your house, everybody's doing something, especially sexually, right? Everybody's doing something that this group of people will say, I would never do that. You got some women that'll say, I will never have anal sex with a man.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
More power to him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I just say with Bossman Dlow, keep your head up, bro. Keep dropping music because if he was like that now, he probably was like that when he was dropping music.
Okay, here's the thing about Bossman Dlow. And again, love his music, think he's a great guy. But when I was first really getting into him, when he was blowing up maybe a year ago or 8 months ago or whatever it was, I bring him up on the podcast and somebody says, well, you know, ever since those dick pics came out or whatever. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Remember
That
when
make him gay too?
No. But remember when we had the whole episode where we talked about academics as leaked pics?
Yeah.
Okay, Bossman Dlow.
Well, you
very similar.
You had him. I told him I don't want to see that shit.
But all I'm saying is that Bossman Dlow, very beginning of his career, had this whole dick pic thing, and I'm gonna be real with you.
Who was it? From a female?
I assume, yes. But you saw his. It's not exactly. I saw it. It was not exactly.
You like looking at it.
Not exactly Jason Love. Let's put it like that.
Why do you got any concerns about a man's package?
Didn't even because, you know, when you're listening to a rapper and he's great, you're kind of assuming that he's great at everything else, right?
So you're listening to a rapper and your mind is wondering about his manhood? You are a weirdo, bro.
In my mind, the idea that a rapper, a top tier, great, amazing rapper also has a micro penis, it's kind of tough for me to wrap my mind around that.
But so when you meet or greet people, your mind go to Peter gazing and wondering how big they package is?
No, but if I've listened to a rapper for hours and hours.
What does that have to do with his manhood?
And they're talking about the bitches that they're fucking.
Okay.
I'm kind of thinking like, oh, they probably got a thing on them.
Well, all males are born with a penis.
The leaked photos of Bossman Dlow paint a different picture. That some men are born with something that really almost doesn't even resemble a penis. I'm so sorry. I love your music. These pictures were brutal. That's the point I'm trying to get across. But all I'm saying is it never became a big story.
Women have that conversation.
It never became a big story. They did, for sure. But it never became a big thing. He just kind of ignored it, whatever. And I feel like the trans thing, like he makes good enough music. I think he'll skate right past it.
Tripping. I just think he need to keep his head up, keep dropping music. These days, it don't even matter. You know what I'm saying? Really, his next song need to be Bossman Dlow and troll itself.
I mean, D-Lo is already like a gay thing, so.
I mean, just troll itself. Put Naughty Nerd Ninja in the goddamn video.
Yo, you always bigging her up.
No, the Naughty Nerd is a transgender
woman.
Yeah, so that means that's not biologically, that's not a her. On the heterosexual mountain I come from, I respect.
There's a mountain?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we got our own mountain.
I'm going to come and hang out there with Bossman Dlow, honestly.
The heterosexual mountain is heterosexual, is our rules.
Naughty Nerd Ninja, all I'm saying, you want to live as a woman, I will refer to you as a she, a her, him, bit of a caveman.
No, because the minute I do that, that means I'm reforming to that.
Right.
And there's no disrespect. I'm going to respect how you want to be titled. But if you ask me, what is a transgender man? I'm going to tell you it's a woman. What is a transgender woman? I'm going to tell you it's a man.
Mm.
But they want to be called this, so I'll say, okay, you're a transgender woman. But I know what that is.
It's crazy I have a trans op.
Huh?
I have a trans op. It's like a trans person that, like, when I see him, it's kind of like smoke in the air. It's like,
you better leave that person alone. That's a hate crime.
It's not really a hate crime unless they can like prove that you did it because they're gay.
You better let them get off on you first.
Okay.
Leave that alone. But shout out to Bossman Dlow, man. Keep doing your thing.
You're going to survive.
I know ordinarily you would have thought I'd have went in on you, but I like his music. You know, shit, man. I don't think whatever he doing in the privacy of his whatever got any effect what he doing.
The only thing, all right, the thing that's interesting to me is that Bossman Dlow does a song with Gucci Mane. In my estimation, probably not the most progressive, open-minded person when it comes to trans rights.
Who?
Gucci.
Gucci went in and did a song with another artist. We're going to leave that at that.
No, but all I'm saying is that
getting into no Gucci.
This trans person waited until that song dropped in order to make these accusations about Bossman Dlow. That to me is kind of weird.
Gucci went and did a song with the artist.
Right.
That's it. We ain't politicking or debating if Gucci knew, didn't know.
I'm not talking about that at all.
Gucci Mane went and did a song with an artist.
All I'm saying is that I personally was looking at this and thinking, they need to break bread. Bossman Dlow needs to be a part of 1017, and Gucci Mane should wholeheartedly embrace them. I would like to see them do more music together. I don't know if Gucci Mane is still so stuck in his ways, being an old school Southern gentleman, that this might negatively impact the chance of that happening?
I don't know. I think Gucci Mane is going to go where his mind tells him to go. If he think it's a creative vibe, I don't think he can care less about what that man got going on, because I know when he around Gucci Mane, you know he's conducting himself a certain way.
If you show up to do a song with Gucci Mane and you got a trans woman on your arm,
huh? What are you talking about?
I feel like he's not going to be so open-minded all of a sudden. Listen,
I don't believe Bossman would do that.
I don't think he would either.
I think whatever he's doing in his own little
He's sneaking and
private
geeking
time,
there, yeah.
you know what I'm saying? That's what he's doing.
But my thing is that if I'm Bossman Dlow, or no, okay, if I'm Gucci Mane, I don't know how tuned in to the world he is. But also, Gucci Mane, I feel like I've seen him get kind of like more and more cut off from everybody else. You just don't really see him. You don't see a lot from him, period, but you don't see him like really just kicking it with random people. It seems like he's kind of put up. He seems like he's decided that in his life, his ideal life is to not spend a ton of time around other rappers.
No, he spends.
Sort of understandable.
Gucci ain't never been no person that's just finna be around a bunch of people.
Yeah,
anyway.
right. The brick house era when he had that.
That's when he was.
When he used to really be like hanging out all night, drinking lean with all the cool new young rappers.
Went to prison, got out before he went to prison.
The
rappers were scared to hang around him.
Was it the brick house or was it the brick factory?
Brick squad or something.
The brick
like
factory.
1017.
Anyway, all right. So here's the important thing that we need to talk about. So, as we discussed on our last episode, you are really kind of a wimp because you had Vlad remove the part from the Aaron the Plumber.
Not me.
Your Vlad episode. You made Vlad remove the part in which you and him talked about Aaron the Plumber's paperwork. You made him remove it. It's a weird, awkward thing in the video. Anybody can go check it out. You said that the reason why you removed this from that interview, which I know Vlad was very, very excited about, the reason why you removed it is because you had Aaron the Plumber set up to do a boxing match. Mm-hmm. Now, Aaron the Plumber is claiming that he snitched on you to the cops and that you are now being charged with a murder conspiracy charge. How did things go wrong between you and the plumber?
I don't know the dude.
And for people who are interested on the No Jumper Clips channel, I did a quick run through of the paperwork, which was the paperwork that you were planning on releasing of Aaron the Plumber. A lot of people have this paperwork at this point. We got it from people in Stockton. How did things go bad when 2 weeks ago you were excited to do business with this guy with the boxing match?
You didn't think we were setting up business? You think I'm lying?
Oh, I believe that. But from what I could tell, it seems like Aaron the Plumber, things go bad with everybody that he tries to do business with.
But you think I'm lying about it?
That you, at a certain point, were setting up business? No, I believe that you were doing that. But when he says that he's snitching on you and that he got you hit with a murder charge. Do you have a murder charge?
No, I haven't killed anybody.
Okay.
So listen, I don't.
Murder conspiracy, you don't have to kill him yourself. I don't know.
You got to remember, right? And some of these situations, you can't really give it your energy, right? Because when you do, you're doing exactly what they want you to do.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
You think Aaron the Plumber wants us to talk about him being a snitch? I don't think so, because I've
never talked about him, but that's what y'all talked about.
I think you did with Vlad, and I think you removed it from the interview. But also, when I read his paperwork on the stream the other day, blocked me.
Who did?
Aaron. We were going back and forth. We were dissing each other on Instagram, on our stories, making reels about each other. Mm-hmm. This was when I was in Turks. This was 3-4 weeks ago, whatever that was. And then we're DMing, kind of being like, I'm going to post this shit about you. Oh, you a bitch. Yeah, I'm going to do this. Like, we're kind of like fucking with each other. Like, it's more friendly behind the scenes than it looked publicly. But then I read the paperwork, boom, he blocks me. So now we know that if you want to hurt Aaron the Plumber's feelings, you got to talk about the snitch shit. Because as much as he's acting like he doesn't care, right? He cares.
Here's the thing. Here goes the dangerous part of what we're dealing with, right?
It's all a legend.
No, here goes the dangerous part. Let's say I don't know you, right? I don't know you, but I'm looking for some clout.
Right.
So I start trolling you. trolling, saying a bunch of shit.
Uh-huh.
So it gets to the point after a couple of days, I'm going to troll back. You get on the phone and you start trolling back. Right? You like, okay, you fuck with me, I'm going to fuck with you. You don't know nothing about this dude. You ain't never even seen this dude in your life, right? Some of these people I'm realizing, let's be real, Adam, they don't have enough life experiences to talk about anything.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So they need to create it, or they need to.
Big homie CC, Aaron the Plumber, J Main, no disrespect J Main, but they come out, they got a bunch of catchphrases.
Well, I don't know. I think J Main really from where he from.
Oh, he really from where he's from, for
in
sure.
Chicago, it's a lot to talk about. It's just like, should you talk about it?
Right, but I mean, a lot of these guys, they come out, they've got catchphrases, they've got, their little like pet topics.
And guess what?
But it's hard to keep it going.
I'm always going to be in the top 3 to 5 if you can get him to say something back. Right? So some of these dudes, you be like, you know what? I'm going to give him what he want. Right? He trolling, I'm going to troll him back. Right? I'm seeing what you saying to me. I don't take it serious because I don't know you. You don't know me. I don't know nothing about you. But I see what you're doing. Some of these dudes, you do it all the time. You be like, you know what? Dude got a little buzz. Let me get in that part of the algorithm. You get what I'm saying? So you'll pop back at him, knowing that, yeah, he's going to tie into your following, but he has a little following going himself. So it'll balance out.
It's way more attractive to talk about Aaron the Plumber, who can potentially get you 6-figure views, than to talk about some random fucking drill rapper that nobody cares about. Right, yeah.
So it's a little crazy when somebody will pop something at you, tell you some crazy stuff. So, then you watch me like, man, who the hell is this dude? So you see, okay, this dude claiming me this, claiming me that. He's still popping and texting and calling, saying shit. So you're like, all right, well, fuck it. Let me go hit on getting the algorithm. All he's going to do is go back and talk about it. So you call and you troll the shit out of him. See, trolling is one thing, like with you, Adam. I can honestly say I know where you be at least one place. You get what I'm saying?
Right here.
Here, right? So if I tell you some crazy shit, it's probably believable. He's like, hold on, Wack, what you talking about? But when you somebody that I'm oblivious to, I don't know, you texting me and calling me out the blind, saying crazy ass shit that I don't take it serious because I don't know you. You don't know me. I don't know nothing about you. So then you pop back at him, and next thing you know, the same dude is trolling you with the crazy aggressive shit says, oh, I'm in fear of my life. And then next thing you know, they're trying to extort you. And say, I got these people that's ready to go at whoop, 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 for a little bit of change. It could go away. And then the next thing you know, he like, well, set the fight up with Donut, and then maybe we can. And then the next thing you know is, I'm going to call the police on you again. At some point, bro, you got to just let that be what it's going to be.
But why not expose his paperwork before you decide to just cut him off and not continue to give him the clout
because
infusion?
Here goes the thing. I don't know nothing about this dude. Whatever he had going on in Georgia with Ray J and somebody else had nothing to do with me, right? He ain't, look, when people were saying Aaron the Plumber, I thought they was talking about a real plumber.
He was a plumber.
Bro, I don't know. Listen,
I guess you could say he's still a plumber in a way. He has a plumber's skill
Adam,
set.
you know this. You say names to me and I'll be like, bro, I don't know.
That's actually what you say about almost everybody. I don't know this dude.
If you not like,
I don't know you.
If you not part of my business or you somebody of a certain level or something, I don't know you.
But why did you leave it in my hands to kill Aaron off? Because he is killed.
No.
K-I-L-T.
First of all, I didn't leave shit in your hands.
The paperwork.
Because guess what?
And Swamp Stories was scared too.
Because guess what? I didn't know what you and that dude's issue was.
There's no real issue. We're just like, he wanted to talk shit about me. All right, we're going to talk shit about you, but we're not going to just talk shit about you. We're going to expose your paperwork.
But hold on. See what you're doing?
Exposers.
No, look, what you're doing.
Do you recognize this?
That's a fact.
This used to mean something to you.
That's just like me, right? That's just like me. Munchie B said a whole bunch of shit about me, right?
I think he's cooled off with that.
No, but I'm saying, that's just like me saying,
like
Munchie B, all of them, whatever, right? Me saying, oh, the things they saying, I'm in fear of my life.
Right.
Right? One night, Spider and Munchie B at 3 a.m. was I guess acting like they was driving around looking for my studio, right? Whether they was or nothing, I took it as a troll. It's good content. I wake up in the morning. Wack, did you see Whoop the Whoop? I listen to it. I respond. We keep moving. These is real gang members, right? I'm not going to say, oh, dude's a real East Coast Crip. He a real Inglewood family. I'm in fear of my life. Because you know why? I've said shit about Spider. I've said shit about Munchie B. This just they get back on whatever. So now it's to a point now we got to have our own little community or maybe some paperwork in place that says, listen, bro, when you troll, I control. It's trolling. Because 99% of these people that I have had a back and forth with, I don't know them. Spider Loc, I know Spider Loc. I've never seen Munchie B in my life.
Did he get put off?
I mean, that's what they say. I don't.
Someone said that, but I don't know.
Be saying that.
How we gonna find out?
I don't know. I ain't never called over there and checked. I really don't care. You know what I'm saying?
Someone told me that.
At Spider Loc age, he don't give a damn about what it is. He already who he is.
What else
and he ain't doing that anyway. So I don't know.
If you're that old, you gotta care. What the fuck else does he have going on?
He is a father.
Yeah.
You know.
He got kids, Adam. He got kids.
Who was that saying? Oh,
that was Rainwater.
Yeah, Rainwater. Yes,
Adam,
he
got kids.
I don't know. You know, because it's like you can't, and then you got little weirdos that's like, I'm gonna pay you to call the police. Ooh. The people we didn't put on mute. You know what we talking about. The mutes. The muted couple. I don't even say their name, right?
Oh, yeah.
But I let them do their thing and do what they do and all that because I'm going to do what I'm going to do. Because that hard drive, I picked that up tonight.
So, okay, I think we have the loose cannon, or the Aaron the Plumber conversation, which, by the way, people want to know now. People are taking it serious. They're like, oh, Wack's about to have a murder charge?
Man, I ain't killed nobody.
Aaron said the detectives just texted me. Like, I don't feel like they're texting you. I feel like
whatever he gonna do, bro. I'm not. What I'm not gonna do is lose no sleep over it. I'll contact my legal, whatever it is. But I got all my text messages too. You trying to extort me? You telling me you got to get paid? And since the troll conversation, us doing business is all in my phone.
So Aaron the
it's
Plumber,
actually up on my Instagram right now.
Aaron the Plumber has found a very clever way to duck the 4 extra fade. Because the clip I saw him, he said, yeah, you the 4 extra fight, yeah, we could do that. We could do that, but we can't do it if in any way it's going to benefit No Jumper. So if 4 extra only does content on his own channel, then I will fight him. Aaron, use a bitch. Because you already know that 4 extra is signed to the big boss man, and anything that he does content wise is with me. That's you ducking him because you know 4 extra is gonna piece your ass up.
Check this out on some real shit. Dude ain't 4 extras. Respectfully, this is where you got to start doing shit differently.
Why?
Because we know how nephew is. Nephew,
extras.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And extras gonna pop his shit. Right? Yeah. Bro, kill all that 4 extra shit. Why? Because when bro come home, I don't need nephew popping his shit and then dude talking about, oh, he threatened me. Leave that shit alone.
He's not even on probation anymore once he gets home.
It don't matter.
He might be coming home today.
It doesn't matter. So if you understand it, No Jumper, when it come to nephew, keep him out of that. It's obvious you got a dude that'll go from what we doing in podcast land to, oh, you threatened me. You know what I'm saying?
You think that I should keep 4 extra out of the content because he is the kind of guy who realistically might do something physical?
No,
we don't have to worry about that. This is influencer.
No, you ain't got to worry about it, bro. And
when is 4 extra's going to run into Aaron the Plumber?
This is the part where they say, right, you a culture vulture right now.
Because I want to pit two boxers, aspiring boxers against each other.
Okay, this is what you do. Until you generate paperwork, and on this paperwork, it's stipulated that it's going to be podcast trolling, and this is just in the front of podcast land, leave dude alone because he's playing a different game.
Shit. This is
playing a different game.
This is the dumb shit that people try to do.
I'm concerned about 4 extras.
Let's talk about it.
He's the only one that's done this.
This is the dumb shit people do. And Aaron the Plumber, this is how he started first coming at me, is that you got 2 dudes building up their identities.
Say it again. He did what? First, I didn't even know who he was.
Listen. Aaron and
told me he was going to have 100 bloods,
2 up-and-coming influencers within this content space, both trying to make names for themselves, and both have gone super viral for talking about their willingness to fight people, their ability to whoop somebody's ass.
4 extras already got a name.
I get labeled a motherfucking culture vulture because I want to help create a scenario in which 2 dudes who claim to be aspiring boxers in a boxing match.
Are you not hearing what I'm saying?
That makes me a culture vulture. I want you to defend that because that is the absolute dumbest argument I've ever heard in my entire life.
For the black guy.
How is it looking out for them? Getting them an opportunity to make money by fighting each other inside a ring?
Let's me and you give him the money.
Why would we give them money? The only idea is that they're going to fight and it's going to make money.
Okay, check this out. 4 extras to get out here, he's going to talk his shit.
Yes.
Right? As he should.
He's a content creator.
Dude, right? This what he first sent me, bro. I didn't even know this motherfucker.
Big bro, we waiting on you to tell us what time it is. If he ain't going to fade, then we going to get active. I got N-words mad as from everywhere, ready to step behind me. Bloods, Chris, Pyros, even Mexicans. I want my fade, but if I can't get it, somebody got to pay for that shit. Respectfully, we ain't going on for N-words. He was following. I need that.
I never said
Why are you taking this dude serious?
No, I didn't.
What has Aaron the Plumber done to anybody ever besides get shot and told?
No, you're missing what I'm saying.
He got spit on. He didn't do anything.
I didn't take him serious. So you know what I did? I trolled him back. And you know what he did? Oh, I'm in fear of my life. Man, get the leave nephew out there.
Why do we care if he's in fear of his life?
Huh?
What's he going to go tell the cops? Hey, I'm in fear of my life.
Bro, listen.
If you haven't made any direct threats to him, then what the fuck are you worried about?
Listen to me. Listen to me, bro. Leave nephew out of that. Like, it ain't that serious.
So you really think he's that dangerous, huh?
No, I really think he's playing a dangerous game.
What's the game? We're not going to see him. And if we do see him, we're going to be moving appropriately, right? What is he going to do?
What are you talking about, bro? In our motherfucking world, 4 extras got a fucking criminal history, bro. It ain't worth it. We find him somebody else to box, bro. That's it. Or we just give him the money.
Who cares? If he, why is he not a good fight?
I care.
So why is Aaron not a good fight for 4 extras? On a celebrity boxing card.
If you get the paperwork signed off that no matter what troll 4 extras come with, he can't call law enforcement, cool. If you can't get that, leave nephew out of that shit.
What is he going to call law enforcement and say?
Hey, bro, let's move on. You ain't getting it.
No, I'm asking you to make a coherent argument.
It ain't worth the risk.
What is the risk?
It ain't worth the risk, bro.
What's the risk?
It's not.
Why is there a risk?
It is a risk.
What's the risk?
Because you dealing with
dudes who are never going to see each other.
You're dealing with somebody that'll play with you, right? And you be like, all right, control it. But you come back at him your way, right? And now I'm in fear of my life. Leave that dude alone, bro.
You act like a dude saying he's in fear of his life is this terrible consequence.
It is.
Why?
It is. And I'm going to move on to the next topic.
You can say whatever you want about being in fear of your life.
Okay. Listen, it ain't worth nephew taking that risk.
Now, if 4 extras is on probation, yeah, maybe it's a little bit worse.
It don't matter, nigga. He's an ex-con.
Who cares?
Probation or not, I care. His homies care.
So if someone without evidence says, without evidence says, I'm in fear of my life,
what the fuck you mean?
And there isn't a video of 4 extras saying, I am going to kill you, then who gives a fuck?
We do. We don't need him doing it.
The courts are not going to say, hey, 4 extras, we're throwing you back in jail because this guy's scared of you.
Bullshit.
Why would they do that? On what legal basis would they do that?
Bro, you know how stupid you sound right now?
Explain it for me.
Unless you get that with the dude like this dude, you need him to sign off on it. Because he know we trolling. He know what he said to me. I didn't say nothing. I'm like, okay, this motherfucker talking about he gonna have 100 Crips bloods pull up, he gonna get active.
Oh,
I didn't say, oh my God, I'm in fear of my life. I trolled his ass back. Right? Talk crazy back.
And this is the thing about 4 extras. You've seen him talk about ops a million times on this platform and never, he doesn't even say their names. He doesn't say, I'm going to shoot you. He doesn't say, I'm going to kill you.
No matter.
He's very restrained in the way he talks about it. It's one of the things that he is best at.
Look, the facts that you saying, who cares? And he ain't on probation or parole is crazy. Nephew got a record, bro. You ain't got to be on shit.
But what is he going to get locked up for? Now, if he jumps out the window and he says, I'm going to kill you, okay, that's something. But still, you're not going to get locked up for saying, I want to kill you. People say that shit all the time. Lutz just said it about Shark.
Yo, listen, we all bullshit, troll, say all kind of crazy shit, right? We know in this thing we do, it's just setting up for another response, right? We know this.
Okay.
But when you got to really
Why are you protecting Aaron?
I'm protecting 4 extras.
It doesn't sound like
no, that's
it. Sounds like
fact.
you're protecting Aaron.
No, I'm protecting 4 extras. I don't give a fuck about, dude, this is a motherfucker who just brought, I control you, talk crazy to you, threaten you, try to extort you, but if you troll me back, I'm going to say, oh my God, this is real life, I'm scared.
But why are you worried about him calling the cops on you when you haven't committed a crime towards him?
Bro, it ain't about me. Whatever going to go on with me, going to go on with me. I'm talking about 4 extras.
Right.
I don't want to see him in no bullshit.
Extras who we have seen example or exemplify
hey, bro,
how you talk shit to someone on the internet.
I'm pretty sure Aaron would love
an influencer boxing match is now being presented as if I'm trying to create an actual murderous scenario between these two.
Because I'm telling you, nephew don't need to be in the mix of that. But what's what we can do?
That's probably the most high-profile fight that we could make for extras at this point in time.
I think I can speak for Aaron the Plumber on this. He'll love to get in the ring with you. Why you don't do it?
I'm not a boxer.
Then let's move on.
Right.
If you ain't gonna put yourself in the twist, don't put nephew in it.
I'm trying to represent my client.
Your ass.
My client, my signee.
Okay, well, your client can train you.
My client. I don't want to fight. Why would I fight?
Okay, then let's move on.
I'm not a fighter.
We don't want 4 extras in that because it's a possibility.
The people
it could be some bullshit.
Very much want to see 4 extras versus Aaron the Plumber.
His homies, his family.
They want to see it too.
And myself.
And they want to see him get paid.
Nah, we don't.
That's the biggest bag that he could get.
We'll get nephew a bag.
The biggest bag 4 extras could get, period, in life right now is fighting Aaron the Plumber.
We'll give him a bag and then we'll set him up somewhere else.
So you're anti-boxing match now? No,
I'm anti-involving nephew in some shit with a motherfucker that's 1 minute we doing our podcast shit, the next minute it's real life police shit.
I do agree that Aaron the Plumber's a J-Cat. I don't think he's so intimidating and so worrisome that we should worry about setting up a fight with 4 extras in him.
Man, look, we're going to move on, bro. Straight up.
Okay. And nobody, I'm looking at the comments too, and I'm not seeing anyone making any kind of argument about why Wack is right and I'm wrong. Zero. Like, this guy says Adam can't be this dumb. What is the dumb part?
Yeah, you can't be the shit you saying.
Someone tell me. What am I wrong about right now? Man. Well, tell me what I'm wrong about.
Let me reset my mind. R&B, I love you.
Put that shiny ass dome
on
away.
Reset.
Okay.
And those of y'all, make sure y'all go to YouTube, tune in to Big Gigi. That's BIGGIGI. She got some amazing content. Big Gigi, not the little one. Y'all check her out on YouTube.
Okay. So why is Big U representing himself now? Why do you think he's broke? It's just hard to find a good legal defense these days. No,
I think with Big U, I think this is a situation. This is me talking to Eddie Boy. Eddie Boy. I know Big U how I know him. He know him another way. Big U's in a situation where he wants to know everybody that has cooperated or told on him. The only way he can get this 100% is to be the attorney. So everything they would give to his attorney, his attorney may not pay attention to a certain name, right? Or because it may not really be relevant to the charges they fighting, right? He might have got pulled over on the traffic stop and gave me the name. The police didn't do nothing with it, but still it's telling, right? So now you're in a situation where Big U is going to get all the documents, be able to see everybody that's cooperating against him.
But why couldn't he do that through his attorney?
You're not, because the attorney ain't going to give you everything.
Why not?
He's going to give you what y'all dealing with.
But they work for you.
Yeah, but he's working on these 43 counts. Right? Big U want to see this dude got pulled over with a gun and he said, yeah, well, Big U run the hood. He the one doing this, doing that.
I just don't know why would your lawyer not tell you that?
You miss because it ain't fucking relevant to the 43 counts. But in our world, nigga, you gave the police a statement on it.
But why does it matter if it's not relevant?
Because it's telling.
It's a lawyer.
They're
working with you. If I say to my lawyer, hey, I want to know the names.
Listen, I'm gonna let you tell the white boy
you
shit.
tell me. But I'm asking you a very reasonable question. Why, if I have a lawyer and I ask them, hey, I want the names of this, this, and this from my paperwork.
You don't know what to ask for because you don't know what's there.
Or I could tell my lawyer, hey, send me every single piece of paper from this.
Yeah, and then guess what?
Or send it to somebody on my team on the outside, let them review it, and then they can tell me.
And what if he don't? So in Big U's mind, so you don't understand it. The lawyer gonna go in there and he gonna say, we got these counts. He's gonna pay attention to the paperwork pertaining to these counts. You get what I'm saying? Big U wanna see the A to Z. He wanna see if a motherfucker got pulled over or whatever and mention, well, such and such hang with him.
I just don't think you have to be your own lawyer in order to get that information.
You're missing what he's doing, right? I know exactly what he's doing. Eddie Boy really figured it out. So him being his own attorney, he got 12 months. They gonna give him all the paperwork. He's gonna go through all the paperwork. If I can mistake, in his 26,000 pages of wiretap, 46,000 pages of evidence, right? Once he has seen all his work and what he needs to see, then you're going to see another hearing where he's going to say, it's too much for me, Your Honor. I need legal representation. Right? Now, what's the objective? I believe, I could be wrong, a Big UC 40, 50, 60 of his homies then gave information up. See, all information they gave up didn't necessarily have to lead to a charge. You get what I'm saying? If it's one of his homies, they pulled him over, yo, what's up? What you got a gun case? You got something you can tell us? Yeah, I've been hearing Big U talking about whoop-de, 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 whoop. It may not have went nowhere, but the fact that he told law enforcement that, and Big U's eyes and mind, U's a rat. You get what I'm saying? So if he's looking at all these people working against him, right? At his age, I could be wrong, making an assumption. I think he'll use that to justify, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna save myself.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
But aren't you of the opinion that he's already working with him?
Yeah, I mean, we already know that by the grid program.
Okay.
But do you know, listen, we got a call last week, 600 did. One of the dudes is trying to get the grid program contract, right? He went in and tried to get it. He could meet the criteria except one. You know what the one criteria he said he couldn't meet?
What?
He said, bro, I got a call to apologize to you, 600. Y'all was right. You must have 5 confidential informants within your program. Okay, now we talking about
in the grid program. So but isn't it presumably like 100 or hundreds of employees?
Your contract and your employee count, 5 of them got to be CIs.
Okay.
Either documented or willed, right? So they called 600 and told him, I guess they went to try to get the contract, some other dudes from 60, right? Or whatever, right? So I'm just listening to him, right? But at the end of the day, I believe he went pro per to get access to all the paperwork, right? So he can see the entirety of who's doing what, who's saying what. Because you got to remember, in a 4-5 year time period, it's all kind of people in there who then gave up all kind of information, whether it led to something or not. If you give some information up on the individual, he's going to see that as that. He get to seeing 40, 50 of his homeboys from his neighborhood that was doing that. I think he's going to use that to justify his decision.
Okay. But shouldn't he be more focused on effectively fighting these charges and preparing his legal defense than worrying about who told him?
Bro, how much time? Bro, he ain't got nothing. They say he looking at 600 years, homie. He ain't got nothing but time on his hands.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
If you assume that he is going to be found guilty and have to serve a lengthy sentence.
Listen, what I'm saying is, if they give him all this paperwork in a period of 6 months, he goes through this shit.
Right.
And see, then he can file another motion to say, after reviewing all, because he's got a astronomical amount of documents. Who did
he even tell on? Isn't he like the top of the pyramid?
You don't know who am I? What are you talking about? The top? Okay, now see, this is where you kind of.
But he's who they're after.
Okay,
who can he tell?
If you're at the top of the pyramid, right? Fuck it, this building right here, right? You the top of the building, right? You would know everything about everybody in here, right? If this motherfucker has some weird shit he did, or if this motherfucker need to borrow some rent money, you gonna know, right? So the top of the pyramid,
more than anybody else,
the top of the pyramid in the neighborhood more than likely knows what? Everything that went on in the neighborhood.
Okay.
Now you talking about a dude that got 25, 35, like a 40-year plus span in a neighborhood. Some things ain't got no statute of limitations.
So you're saying that if Big U could help them solve 50 murders,
I don't know.
They would be very forgiving.
I don't know what he can help them solve. What I do know is that if you're at the top of something and you're the guy that everybody's coming to for whatever reason, there's a good chance you know a whole lot.
Yeah. I would assume he knows more than almost anybody.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now he's in a situation where he looking at, man, I got 40, 50 of these niggas. These niggas is really, this is the reason why, and this, you know, they gonna start making up their own shit. Right? This is the reason why I'm in here. Right? Not what you did, but they gonna say all this led to this. At 58, he might try to use that to save himself. If he can, I don't know. I don't know what he'll know. I don't know. Because you gotta remember, I don't know him from that. Now, talking to Eddie Boy came up with him from that era. Our era was all building on some business shit. You get what I'm saying? So I don't know what all he can know, but I do know this. I saw an 80-year-old man arrested from a body he did 40-some years ago.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So if you got 10 cold cases from the 80s, while you in the joint, niggas done told you stuff about another 5 or 10. Since you been out, you know about another 5 or 10. And somebody walk in, we seen this in the Frank Lucas story. Frank Lucas was looking at 70 years, right? He gave him all the information he gave him, got it down to 15. If a motherfucker go in there and say, look, I got information on 15, 25 cold cases.
Yeah.
And I know who robbed them banks and did this and did that. It's a good chance they may give you some amnesty. I don't know if that's the case, but I believe he's just going pro per so he can get that paperwork and read it himself in entirety.
Because if Big U got 15 years, that's got to feel like the fucking deal of the century. Get out in your early 70s, still be able to have, 10 years or however much.
At that point, we know something went on.
You want to know something? I'll tell you off camera who it was, but I was talking to this OG the other day, very OG person in the LA streets. And he said to me, he goes, you want to know how I know Big U was a real demon? And I'm like, what? How? He's like, because when he was locked up for that long stretch, this is somebody who was locked up at the same time as him. He said that whole time that he was locked up, he was acting like he was a Muslim.
That's a fact.
In order to basically insulate himself and keep himself safe from certain threats. And then as soon as he got out, he was like, fuck this shit.
No, you can't do that.
But he doesn't claim to be a Muslim on the streets, right? Or has he? And was he for a while? And then I don't know.
Everybody knew he was from rolling 60s when he was locked up. Everybody knew that he practiced the Muslim faith. Everybody.
But he got into that in prison, right?
I don't know where he got into it. Everybody know that his Muslim name is Hannibal. I don't believe it. It is people that told me when they was on the yard with him because they was Muslims that he functioned as a Muslim, right?
Okay.
But I don't think he ever denounced or disassociated from his neighborhood. I believe if anything was going on that yard pertaining to that, I believe he was in the middle of that. And I'm gonna be real. I say it. Those that are gang banging and Muslim, you just gotta like, okay, well, what's going on with that? You know what I'm saying? Maybe they falling short, and maybe it's a continued struggle, with their faith. But I've never heard him like not get involved in something that was going on with that card.
Okay.
Because he said he was a Muslim. I ain't never heard that.
Okay. This person had a different view.
And not to say that whoever this individual was, you know what I'm saying, ain't telling the truth. You know what I'm saying? So, like Eddie Boy tell you, I'm a Muslim. I'm a civilian. I'm not no Crip. I'm not none of that. So, but I've never heard Big U say that.
Damn. So
he's always said neighborhood.
I guess Skrilla Baby got shot in the leg and a bullet grazed his head on 8 Mile in Detroit as we're filming this. So
now,
big
y'all
prayers
wait,
up to Skillabit.
hold on. Is that a personal text or is that on the blogs?
This is my news team putting together the post.
Okay, so people be, these people be like, how do you guys know? They tell us.
Well, yeah, my team
shit.
just sort of, they got a video of the car shut
Yeah,
up.
they sent people tell us. What be crazy is it be the people that did it or it got done to who sends it in.
You could imagine that, but yeah, this is just my team trying to figure it out so they could post it.
Yeah.
But damn, prayers up to Skillet, baby, man. That's terrible. Okay, I guess another thing that I wanted to mention was just Academics has accused No Jumper of being a Fed platform.
Yeah, I called him today.
And now,
yeah,
in the Fed paperwork, and obviously we love the work that Academics does, so it's all good. But
yeah,
his interview with Dirk
is being used
in the federal charges against Lil Durk.
I asked Act today, so that makes you a Fed. Yeah, I mean, I said you want to ask the question. Dirk, you asked the question. So how do you feel about the people saying slide for bond?
Right, which is not that bad of a question. I mean,
bullshit.
It's easy to imagine a way that Dirk could have answered that question that would not have completely incriminated himself.
Sliding for anybody.
Right.
We know what that is determined.
But it was a very consistent meme. Your client, 6ix9ine, even put it in his music video, really trying to taunt Lil Durk.
Yo, so why you call 6ix9ine my client?
That's your boy.
No, I with 6ix9ine.
You canceled a trip to Miami because 6ix9ine wasn't going to be there.
I canceled the trip because it was supposed to have been at his spot, and he ain't answering the phone.
A lot of podcast studios.
I'm not one of these dudes to get excited about. I don't give a fuck about. You know how many times I've been to Miami?
All I'm saying.
I'm not just showing up and then I'm walking around South Beach. No.
There's no bigger name who more heavily pushed the slide for Vaughn thing than 6ix9ine.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is,
and 5 million
that
comments.
Ain't got nothing to do, and he never responded to 6ix9ine. Academics, and I told him, look, bro, you asking him something that's directly associated to a murder. He said, Wack, at the time, we thought dude got killed over a bad drug deal. You right, but you still know sliding for anybody means, did you put some work in behind him?
But all that
so why would you ask him that?
All Ack was saying was, how does it make you feel when you see people leaving those comments? He wasn't saying, do those comments make you feel like you need to get revenge by murdering someone?
That's exactly what he was getting to.
Not really. He didn't actually say that.
Fool.
You want to watch
How does that make you feel?
Because if I'm Dirk, you know what I say?
You're not Dirk. You're a white guy.
I know, but if I'm Dirk.
We're talking about the mind of a black man.
This was how I say, as Dirk, the guy who ordered a bunch of murders, I'm going to say, I don't even read the comments. I don't even know what they be saying. I don't pay attention to that shit.
Yeah, but here goes the thing. I
care about my family, God, my kids, my girl, Duty Low. I don't even read the comments. That's what a player says.
This is my thing to act.
What Dirk said is what you say if you want people to think that you're capable of revenge killings.
I'm not going to even say that. What I'm going to say is this, because you still doing the bullshit. What I'm going to say is this.
I'm keeping it real.
What I'm saying is this.
You're trying to cover.
I'm telling Act, why even ask it?
Why even ask it?
I mean, that's what he say about us.
He's an interviewer.
Okay, that's my point. So why when we fucking ask questions, it's a problem. We the feds. So if we the feds, he the feds.
I agree, we're not the feds. Yeah, but I also think he's not the feds. Yeah, but if we're the feds, then he's for sure the feds.
What I'm saying is, like, we ask him some real shit. I'm gonna be real. A lot of our guests, they just tell us.
Oh yeah.
They just start rambling, and then we ask them questions based off what they have already said. We didn't have no questions keyed up for dude when he was here. But that's the thing is that, you know what I'm saying?
Many people have called Brick Baby a snitch for what he said on No Jumper.
He said some bullshit.
It was an episode with Flacco, Brick Baby. Flacco basically said
some bullshit.
Yeah. Brick Baby basically 1-to-1 said the same thing that Dirk said in that clip.
Yeah, he said some bullshit. But
Brick Baby's on the outside, allegedly, hopefully. So he could say that. But even him being a friend or an associate of Dirk, kind of weird for him to say that. But then Dirk doubles back and basically says the exact same thing. I guess. All right. Either way. Another thing that Dirk did or didn't do was he didn't show up to the live stream with Loose Cannon and Sharice Mills. They set up a live stream and they promised that both Aaron the Plumber and Dirk were going to be featured on this live stream. This, and neither of them showed up. Spoiler. This is when I realized that now that you are no longer providing a foundation for their clout chasing, I'm not really involved. Academics even has said that he's not really interested in making too much more content with Loose.
It's over with.
I mean, we could go take a look, but it seems like the spigot of clout that they were enjoying for a little while there really might have been turned off. What's this? Okay. Loose Cannon lets Aaron the Plumber know him and Bubble Butt is really beefing. Stand on everything. Okay. They keep calling you Bubble Butt. It's like a big thing with them.
That's some gay shit. He never did it on the street.
Yeah, you got to feel for him because for a while it was almost like Loose Cannon didn't really even care about the Fed case because he was getting so much clout from it.
Dude's weird, bro.
And it feels like that has really kind of come to
I'm going to pick that drive up though today.
What drive?
He came in for my
the
PI.
GG drive.
No. Came in for my PI.
You have a PI collecting more information about Loose?
That's a fact.
Oh, shit. Well, that's exciting. But anyway, yeah, it just feels kind of weird. Like, damn, that shit dried up. And now they trying to, I mean, Loose and Aaron the Plumber, they like were working together and then fell out. And now apparently Loose is like going back to trying to make that happen again. But, you know, Loose is somebody who's not really.
Dude's a rat.
He's not going to be able to maintain a consistent amount of attention unless he's attaching himself to other people who have more attention than him.
Bro, at the end of the day, listen, man. Listen. People can lie to themselves for whatever they want to do. Me personally, I don't see it. I don't hear it. If you want to talk about me, great. You've been talking about me for 5 years, even before I knew who you was, right? At the end of the day, it's a whole lot of people could talk about. We could talk about you told me your mama, who was with the pastor dude in Texas, right? How she robbed him and bit down on his manhood and he kicked her out the house.
Big down? What's that? Bit down. Oh.
We could talk about how you called me on the three-way for whatever reason with the sister auntie, and they're telling you she got to get out the house. I think she's trying to flirt with my man, and she's argumentative, and she's doing this, and she's unclean. We could talk about all kind of shit. I just choose not to talk about it. You know? So at the end of the day, you know, I'm going to let them do their thing, whatever their thing is they doing. You know, in life, storms come, you weather the storm, you deal with it. Me personally, they ain't part of my conversation. They say they bigger than, they said they did it all on their own. So shit, keep doing it on your own.
Okay.
I mean, we seeing what's coming to that.
I got 15 minutes left on the clock. How much attention are you paying to the Diddy trial and how are you feeling about it? Are you rooting for him? Or do you think he's a monster?
I mean, I think he put hands on the female. Do I think he forced her to do anything? No, I think she's a willing participant when it comes to all the activities. Do I think he put hands on her? Yeah, I mean, I see that he definitely did that.
But that's not really what he's on trial for. They're just kind of painting an overall picture of him as a piece of shit.
I'm curious to see the drug mule they arrested. They let go. I want to see what his testimony is going to do. And all the male sex workers. So far, I think 2 of them is kind of like in favor of Diddy. They ain't saying nothing too crazy, so.
Yeah, I mean, that's the weird thing about it is I think to so many people out there, they're seeing how this is going. Now, keep in mind, this is the defense, not the prosecution. And so we're like kind of seeing all this stuff that doesn't make Diddy look too bad. The reality is that the charges that he's facing, the devil's in the details. It's like, you know, once it's proven that he had drug mules working for him, that he had people helping to manage prostitutes being sent in and out of different cities.
That's,
I mean, it's almost kind of weird that we're starting with the Cassie thing just because who the cares? It's like, you know, when you take down El Chapo, you're not with like he's beating up his wife. Who cares?
I think she was supposed to be a character witness and it worked against him because it almost is like she would start working for the defense.
Right. Well, we don't know what it's actually like in the courtroom, but as far as the impression that people are getting online, it very much seems like people are being swayed in favor of Diddy at this time, which is kind of shocking.
Yeah, well, the online people is hearing like second and third and fourth hand information. Yeah. It's going to come down. It's jurors, it's jury trial, right?
And there's such a strong desire to give the rap fans what they want, which is basically a repudiation of
real.
Diddy's character.
I think even if they find Diddy guilty,
right?
I think Diddy was out long enough to put certain things in position. I think Trump gonna let him go. I can see Trump giving Diddy a pardon if at the end of his term.
This is my response to that. It's not loading. Anyway, what I'm intending to bring up is these photos of Diddy in voter die campaigns in which he very, very proudly went hard for the Democrats.
That don't mean nothing.
He's going to have to really give a piece of flesh to Trump and his administration. Trump doesn't care about anything besides loyalty.
Bro, that don't mean nothing.
Why would he free this man who essentially campaigned against him?
You got to stop thinking down here, bro. That man was out long enough to conduct his business. You know, when
part of his business was going against Trump.
That don't mean nothing, because
all these rappers can't just hang their hat on the idea that maybe they'll be able to get pardoned by Trump.
No, bro. Like, maybe you don't understand how this world works, right? I could burn a bridge over there, right? But if I got 3 people over there that can cross that bridge for whatever reason, and I send them with the right thing across that bridge, it's at least 1 or 2 of them gonna come back with some safe passage, depending on what I send them across that bridge with. Right? This shit ain't based on right and wrong. This shit based on politics. Are you politically correct right there? No, he's not. But did he politically correct himself, knowing the challenge that might be ahead of him? Diddy's not stupid. I'm pretty goddamn sure he did. On some real shit. Bro, he know he looking at a federal term. He looks up and he says, okay, well, I see what happened with Lil Wayne. I see what happened to Kodak Black. I see what happened to a few other people. There's no way he didn't explore that option, just in case.
It's also, if you get publicly charged with being this monster, for most people, that seems like enough to kind of turn them into a right-winger.
You think...
Look at Russell Brand.
Do you think Trump give a damn about what y'all think about him his last day in office?
I think Trump very much cares about who has had his back more than anything else.
Yeah, but do you not understand what Trump is about and how he operates?
Money, loyalty.
Okay, well, there you go. It don't need all of them. Just one good one.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like if he were to forgive Diddy for his crimes, that would very much be, that would set a very new standard for him. Because this is a person who's
what standard?
Like the most
80 some years old.
The most high profile abuser of the last couple of years.
What are you talking about?
I mean, this is how he's being treated by the media.
Bro, you're talking about a man that got a murder warrant right now.
Who?
Trump.
A murder warrant?
He been at it for 4-5 years.
Who did he kill?
The dude from the Middle East.
I don't even know.
What you mean you don't know?
You don't even know his name, so how are you going to act like I'm stupid?
We watched it. Google it. They sent the drones. The drones fired.
What do you want me to Google? Who did Trump kill?
Bro,
in the Middle East?
Does Trump have a murder warrant?
Okay. The Soleimani.
Oh, you talking about a renegade?
Does Trump have a murder warrant? Iran has an arrest warrant for Trump.
Okay. Listen,
That seems very different from
that's
what we're
because
talking
you're a
about.
white dude. You mad the black dude know what's going on.
No.
That's cool. We get it.
I'm just saying that's very different than targeting somebody within this country.
L for Adam. L for Adam. 1 Adam 12. L for
The fact that you think that this is in any way related is kind of strange.
It is, but I'm trying to tell you is you're not dealing with the norm. You're dealing with a dude that's used to hearing you did this, you did that, and in his mind, he did nothing, right? You're dealing with a dude who they leaked out some voice footage where he said, grab him by the pussy, right?
Right.
And in his head, he like, what's the big deal?
I personally feel like this week, I'm going to go into my full cuck liberal mode for a moment, guys. This week, I've always been of the opinion that the whole argument that Trump is a white supremacist is kind of weak. You know, like what has he really done to be a white supremacist? I think
they got pictures of Trump
existing
at the marches back in the days.
Sure. Him
But that's
existing
his era.
as an anti-immigration president and then deciding that the main exception that we're going to make to that is that we're going to let the white Africans come to America.
No.
Because they are living in fear of the ravenous, animalistic black Africans.
No, fuck all that. That ain't the main exception.
That stands out to me.
That ain't the main exception.
That's like the most mask-off racist thing that I've really seen from Trump so far.
Let's give a better example.
You tell me why I'm wrong.
Let's give a better example.
Why don't I just tell me why I'm wrong?
Get rid of all the immigrants. But if you got $5 million, you can come in and stay.
Right, but the Afrikaners
you're missing what
are not even giving them $5 million.
You're missing what
They're just white.
Bro, you're missing what I'm saying. Puffy went against Trump, right? These people that he say ain't from here, get out of here, get out of here, get out of here. He's running a major campaign, right? But if you got the right amount of money, you can stay. Okay, if you got the right amount of money, I got you.
There's no real indication that the Afrikaners are giving Trump a bunch of money.
You're missing the point. They already said he generated what, bro? 50 million, 500 million or some shit off of selling these, what does he call it? The gold card or some type of card?
$5 million, yeah.
Okay, he's already generated some crazy amount of people that brought into it. The same people we said get out, but if you have this, you can stay. What's the difference between Puff with the anti-Trump, but hey, I got this. Can we work? So what's the difference?
The difference is that anyone can pay $5 million to come to America now, apparently. This is Trump's new thing. But the Afrikaners get to come for free. Why? Why? This is what you're
trying
missing.
to have a conversation that's not related to the conversation.
Is how useful the idea of white victimhood is to the Republicans.
Hey, bro, listen. Hey, listen. This is America.
You're in the dark.
It's going to operate. No, you're missing the whole... You're missing.
This guy's in the dark.
You're missing the whole thing.
You're not seeing what's going on.
You're not seeing it. You're saying, look at him. He's anti-Trump. Okay, Trump is saying, y'all ain't American. Get out the country. But if you got the money, you can stay. So the anti-Trump dude, if he got the fucking bag, I'll let you out that prison. You not getting it?
Hey,
the shit you talking about in Africa,
giant continent of Africa. None of you are allowed to come over here. Stay the fuck where you're at. Up. Unless you're white. Come on over. It's kind of hard to not see that as sort of being representative of a racist idea, right?
Well, you the one said he wasn't racist. We all know he look at his era. We none of us deny the fact that Trump comes from where he come from.
I just think like the best argument for Trump being racist prior to all this was like, oh, he posted a photo with a taco bowl.
Listen,
you remember the taco bowl?
Trump's era, his age, things he's done and said, his representation too. I respect the fact that he still identified with his people.
So why are the Afrikaners allowed in and no other immigrants?
I don't know. I asked him.
Well,
you can't say no other.
It would kind of stand out that they're white.
For $5 million, he letting people stay.
Right, but okay, it's kind of different when one person's giving you $5 million and they get to come in, and then the other people are coming in for free, and they just so happen to be white people in a country that is largely black.
Well, here goes the thing. Maybe you think they coming in for free. To Trump is always a catch-22.
Well, what I will say is that the Afrikaners were heavily investing in lobbyists. They've been really doing their thing, trying to raise awareness. And I am sympathetic to their situation because everything I read says that the people of South Africa are terrified of being killed by people sort of storming their farms, which
got your
is
goddamn
really to be
nerves.
expected in a country
You got
with
your
such,
nerves. You said the people who are
that's
terrified
really
of
to
being
be
what?
expected in a country
up.
that has such
You
extreme
said
income
the people
inequality.
Who are terrified of being what, bro?
Have you ever been to Africa?
Answer my question.
Okay, so that's the difference between you and I. Is that I have, and I've seen the
you
most
said-
extreme income inequality I've ever seen in my
How
life.
could your white skin self talk about
How
the
have you
extreme?
never been to the motherfucking motherland?
What are you talking about?
You
When
never
y'all went
been
over
there.
there,
Don't talk to
y'all
me
went
about
over there
Africa.
and violated our people. Like, well, you really, man, don't even open
I've
your
really
mouth
been
up
there.
and say nothing like that.
You
I don't
all
give
you
a
got
fuck.
is a tan.
So you're saying, well, watch
You
this.
got a tan.
Let me ask you something.
The fuck do you know?
How many Africans were killed back in them days, shipped over here for slavery, and God knows what over there by people floating up on boats? Man, we don't want to hear that shit.
No, you.
Fuck out of here, man. Fuck you and your side sob story.
You ain't been there.
Straight up, red to black
And
and green.
also, you saying that,
No,
yes,
it's
that
real.
sounds like a pretty good argument for why should the rich whites from Africa be allowed
I'm
in.
just saying, don't let it come out your mouth about they're in fear. Like, what
You
the
don't
hell?
think that the Afrikaners are
listen.
living in fear? You think this is all
What I'm
made up?
telling you is what the people over there had to endure and experience over the last couple hundred of years. We don't want to hear about nobody being in fear over there. That's the opposite of us, bro. I'm just
So
being
you
real
think
with
if a white guy who has a farm with a family in Africa, it has people raiding his farm in the middle of the night trying to kill him and his family,
raiding his farm
you
in
don't
the
have any
middle of the
sympathy
night.
for that. This is what the Afrikaners are dealing with, which is why and
Do
now
you
you
got
forced me
sympathy?
into a position of defending them.
Do you have sympathy, Mr. Y? Won't be from the Caucasus Mountains of those black sharecroppers who
My
woke
name is
up
Adam
at
Grant
1 in the
Mason, you
morning,
piece of shit.
at 1 in the morning with capes around their house, burning their shit? Huh? Well, how about that
Why do
fear?
I even, what is that?
That's my point. They don't talk to me about what you talk
So
about.
you have no empathy for the Afrikaners
No, what I'm
getting their
saying
houses
is,
raided
until
and
we
murdered
talk
in the
about-
middle of the night.
Until we put the light on the root of the problem, let's not talk about the branches and the leaves. Let's talk about the root, and then we can get to that.
This is very convenient that all of a sudden you feel a lot of sympathy for the black people
No,
in
I've
Africa.
always felt sympathy
My
for all
original
people,
argument
especially
was
my
that there's
people.
something inherently unfair about the white Africans being allowed in, while the black Africans are told to f off and
No,
stay
you're
where you're
saying
at.
because they're scared to death.
Well, that is why Trump is in any way capable of making
What
this
do you think
argument.
them little kids were scared to death who got bombed in the school bombings?
We're talking about right
Huh?
now.
What do you think
Talking
about
about
them people
right
that
now.
unleashed them
We ain't
dogs?
talking about no back in
turned
the
on
day
the
shit.
fight? No, we're talking about back in the day is all right now.
No.
Because our people are still going through and trying to get caught up because we lost 150, 200 years based on the fear.
I agree with you. Slavery, bad. Segregation, bad.
No, let's go before
Still
that.
not great that white people in Africa have to live in fear that their farms are going to get stormed by black people who are going to kill them.
The world should stop for that.
Well, I do think that, I feel some degree of
What about
sympathy
the
for
Native
them.
Americans? What about them?
Yeah, they got fucked over for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying, listen, I don't mind talking about this and putting some light on it, but that is a branch and a leaf. Let's talk about the root and work our way up the tree.
The thing is that we can't change the past, but we can change right now.
And right now shouldn't be a mirror reflection of the past because it still is in some ways.
Okay, but not like it used to be.
It don't matter, not like it used to be. If it still is, and it's still there, it's a conversation. Because you know why? We're going through it longer than you.
So your argument, which by the way, you've really forced me to switch sides in this argument. by
We're
making
going
such
through
a
it
stupid
longer than
argument.
you. Matter of fact,
Let me
take
explain
that
this to
black
you.
shirt off, bro. I don't
Let me
even
explain
want
this
you
to you.
across from me. We
You
just
have
want to
no,
see your
you
white
have no
skin.
monopoly over the color black when it comes to clothing. And even you, realistically, your skin is more of a mocha. Anyway, you're telling me that
My
the white
DNA
people
is
who are
Negro.
being murdered on their farms in Africa, instead of having their complaints taken seriously, instead we should tell them, oh, well, actually, there was a lot of racism back in the day, and
No,
really
no.
still a lot of it as well, and therefore you should not be worried about having your
listen.
families killed.
No, what I'm saying is this. Do you believe if you got a list of complaints, and let's just say it's 1,000 complaints, right? Do you start at complaint 999 or do you have to address complaint 1?
That's why you hire lobbyists to go petition the president to save your ass.
No, what do you address? Complaint 1 or start at 999?
Whoever can raise the most noise about their complaint.
Because we
should not go in order.
Our complaints of the people still haven't been addressed.
So are you saying that you think that it would be more fair if Trump were allowing impoverished black people from Africa to come to America instead of these rich white people?
No,
it sounds like that's what you're saying, which is really how I started this conversation.
I'm saying all people, if that's the case, if they can prove these things are going on, no matter what your skin color is.
So you think if some people in another country are having a bad time that they should just be able to come to America? Because that's retarded. Definitely don't want that.
What do you mean? What's the difference between them and them?
Why do we even have borders?
A skin color?
Why do we even have borders?
Okay, well, we talking about somebody giving a pass to come through our border.
Right.
So
they should give us $5 million, or in some cases be able to plead amnesty, say that the conditions are so fucked up in their country that's a good reason for them to come over.
Look at the camera and tell Trump he should make the white Africans pay $5 million. Let them hear you say it.
I honestly don't think that they all have $5 million.
Then they shouldn't be allowed. If the Hispanics or the Ukrainians or the Chinese or whoever has to pay this $5 million, don't you think that everybody should have to pay it?
If I had a direct line to Donald Trump, I would tell him that we need to keep Pacoima the fuck out of this country. No, we need to annex Pacoima. Get them out of here. This has been the Adam and Wack Show. You are an insufferable prick.
Who?
I'm sure plenty of people feel that way about me too, but.
Thank you for representing the city.
Smash that like button. Annex Pacoima.
Good, bad, and the ugly. Say it again.